Special thank you to Seed and Stone Cidery and Lucky Buzz Meadery for sponsoring the show today. They help to make this show possible and supply us with the occasional beverage when we're out there. They've got 10 taps full of meads and ciders made right there in-house. They've also got all sorts of awesome events going on, including an open mic almost every single Thursday where you can come out and show your musical talent. So all you songwriters out there, stop out and grab a cider or a mead and tell them that the Songwriters Couch and the Patrick Jaouen Band sent you. Again, Seed and Stone Cidery right here in Rochester, New York. Go out and visit them and let them know we sent you. Thanks, guys.
All right, welcome to episode number 27 of the Songwriters Couch. And on today's show, we've got someone traveling internationally, took flights, hours and hours to get here, overseas and mountains and continents to reach us today. But before we go to our guest, I just want to thank our delicious sponsors, Seed and Stone, for making this show possible, and to our patrons that help make the show possible as well, and to all you lovely viewers and listeners who help support us by watching and liking and subscribing. And I know I promised to have a graphic down at the bottom of the screen last week, but I did not do that because, again, I'm a lazy fucker who did not do that. And so this week I will probably do it, or who knows, maybe I will still have time after this to go in and edit the episode before it airs tomorrow, because this is Sunday and the episode is going to come out on Monday, and maybe you will see that graphic and be like, Pat, what the hell are you talking about? You're not lazy, you actually did it. But this is too lengthy a description. Like and subscribe down at the bottom, and that really helps us out. And on today's show, Madero, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? Nice to be here, man.
Yeah, it took a supersonic jet just to be on this podcast, right?
2 supersonic jets.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go over mountains, inside the sea, kill 2 sharks. You know how it goes? All the way from Colombia, man.
The plane crashed into the ocean. You rode a shark here with your guitar, all that kind of thing. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks that watch the show, for people who might not know who you are, maybe a little background of what you do, what your I guess claim to fame is, and let's
do it.
Yeah.
Man, my name is Madeiro, Jose Madeiro. I come from Barranquilla, Colombia. That's Shakira's city, buddy. Like, actually, I ate mango where this girl ate mango, like same street. So the thing is, Barranquilla, it's an amazing city because we just have the river and the sea, like, just together. Like, they actually meet there. Full of amazing artists, full of amazing talent. Like, it's so much flavor, so much. It's just the Caribbean, so it's warm always, all year round. Beautiful.
I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love that. I'm a musician. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. Like, I played a lot of instruments. I'm basically a music producer. That's like my main thing. Studying in the university. Went on. Then, yeah, man, I started working with a lot of artists when I moved to Bogota, which is the capital in Colombia. Recorded, produced a lot of stuff. Make some children music actually for 6 years. One of them is La Vaca Lola. If there's Latin people here, it's 2.6 billion views on YouTube, man. Like,
just a few.
Just a few.
Latin people in America.
It's big. Yeah, that was my main job, like my day job. Thanks, like the universe, man, because I could make music and live from it. After that, yeah, man, like, some people think, oh, that song is so big. Sometimes big stuff bring even more problems than.
As Biggie would say, mo money, mo problems.
There you go.
It's
just like that, buddy. And in music, it's even more like that,
Right.
So, some things happen. And one night, a friend called me like Thursday, like, hey, man, I've been in this line for this program, X Factor in Colombia, like 3 days. I'm having not 8. I'm hungry. It's raining. Like, can you hang out, bring me some food? And And I actually did. Next day, I went with him, took my banjo because I played the banjo, which is weird in Colombia. Like, there's two guys that play in the banjo. One, that's me. One, yeah, man.
There's only two banjo players.
Yeah, literally something like that, man. I'm one. Really. And I'm like the weird guy down there, Like I'm not. I was born in a different place. And I just went to my friends to go in the line with him. He actually subscribed me on the program. They kick him out first line, and I end up winning the shit. So I won the X Factor in Colombia, buddy. And that basically, to finish my career stories, that just taught me how this thing works, because it's a thing. It's an industry. I met the people, and it was nice, but not so many times, because I noticed how this thing works in the behind part, and it should be different. I think that's what I thought. So I basically worked with the TV channel that owned the program 2 years, which had alliance with Sony Music and like big major labels. So I just got signed for 2 years, learned a lot from that. Wouldn't do it again. No, thank you. Like that was enough. 2 years was enough. Yeah, buddy. And then I just decided to do my own thing. So I founded my own entertainment company that has a record label inside, publishing company, distribution company, film company, like a lot of stuff. And now I'm supporting like emerging artists, like new artists, like Sally Louise you had here before in this program, and Jackson Cavalier from Rochester City. My brother lives here. That's what I know the city. Yeah. Like in all the cities in the world, like this is a place. Like, why will you go to Rochester?
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit before the podcast started too. Like, why, what's going on in Rochester, and there's a buzz here now. We're going to get into the details of a lot of what you just talked about, but before we do that, we have a little kind of icebreaker that I do with the guests, right? And what it's called, and our regular watchers and listeners know, because I don't know you at all, really.
Perfect.
Right? Except for I did a bunch of Google searches, so there's some stuff that came up that I won't mention here on. But other than that stuff, there's mostly good stuff. But
I hope.
But it's called Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh,
all right. So you tell me three things, and I say facts, and I do the air quotes. 3 facts about you, one of which is not correct. Right?
Okay.
And I have to guess which one is the lie.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. And so, hold on, let's do a little drum roll first before you start. So, and I'll preface it with, I'm terrible at this, and I usually don't get it right. So, doesn't take a lot to fool me, I guess.
Okay, let's go.
All right,
first one. I saw a UFO.
Oh.
Second, I love coffee.
Oh.
And third, oh my God, I'm so bad at this quick thinking things. And third, I live in a lot of cities.
Well, the coffee thing, as you're taking a sip of coffee, I'm gonna ixnay that right off the bat. I feel like that you're giving me that, unless you really hate it and this was all a setup from the beginning, and you're really just trying to fool me. I like the thinking music, Madero. So a lot of cities. So you have not always lived in Bogota, right? That's where you.
I don't know if I should be giving you any help.
What do you think, Ali? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go the city one because I want to believe that he's seen a UFO. I want to believe it.
I'm going that too. I'm going to align with Ali in an unusual take, because normally I go against her and I choose something else. So I'm gonna go with the same thing. You have not lived in many cities. You've lived in the same city for most of your life.
Wrong. Super wrong. What do you think? Okay, man. So
what is the lie then?
I actually hate coffee. And I'm Colombian. And I'm drinking coffee right now.
You don't like coffee.
I hate it, man. I don't know why. It just tastes horrible.
You son of a... It was a setup, see?
I knew it.
I should have went with my gut. Apparently, but I don't trust it, and then I ended up losing. So what don't you like about coffee, though? It's just...
I don't know. It's just
too
taste.
much of it.
I was just sleepy, so I needed to drink something to wake me up, but I just don't like the taste. I don't know why people love it. It just tastes horrible to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's an acquired taste, kind of like alcohol, though, too. Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that too. But like, I think it's acquired. Like as you get older, you drink alcohol, but I don't think you actually really like it.
Right. So
it's like you drink it for what it does.
Yeah, but it's horrible.
Like the coffee too. It's like you drink it and you pretend like you kind of like it. But people also add a lot of cream and sugar.
Yeah, and they
stuff,
just add shit. So
it's like basically melted ice cream you're drinking. You know what I mean? With caffeine in it.
There you go.
But so the UFO thing, though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So in Colombia, where did you see this unidentified flying object? Aren't they calling it something else now? They have some other name for UFOs now.
I don't know.
UAEs or something like that. Right? They're calling it some other technical term.
I don't know what it is.
But what was the...
Yeah, man, the short story is I was like with my ex-wife. I actually live like my studio is in front of the beach in Barranquilla. So sometimes we go at night and we were just hanging out at night, drinking something, sitting in a normal log, looking at the black night and the sea. Yeah, man, and suddenly, I think it was, I don't know if for real, but I think it was. Man, the whole sky lit pink. I don't know, pink. And it was like a big flash. And we saw a ball, like a big one, man. Like I don't know, it was like huge. I don't know how huge, but the size of the middle of the horizon thing. And it just went up like, everything went, buddy, it looked like daylight, like day, like. And we were like, and I turned to my ex-wife like, did you see that? And she was almost crying. Like she was like, let's go now. I'm like, oh shit. So I think, my hair goes like I get goosebumps every time. So the story, man, I think it was the real shit, man.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool. I made a song about it.
And especially if someone else is verifying too, like you turned and she's like, yeah, I saw that too. That's usually a good sign that something just happened. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of believe that there's a bunch of stuff going on, especially lately. There's all these leaks about things now too. Like, there's, the government's like, oh yeah, there's, they're slowly letting out. Oh, it might be true. It might be like they're softening us up to the eventual, like, oh yeah, there's aliens and they've been here forever,
Yeah, man. Universe is too big to think otherwise.
Yeah.
Right?
But,
Ali's with me.
So do you think that's where music comes from, is aliens?
Oh, totally.
Madeiro.
Actually, I'm an alien. We're all aliens.
Maybe that's both of us. We're both tied into the universe in a way like that. Yeah, so all right. So you got tricked somehow. I'm going to get back to your music career now, and and I'll start with the X Factor thing because I think that's going to be interesting to people too, in how that process works. And I asked you before, is it okay to kind of talk about the process and what that was like? And because I think that a lot of younger musicians, especially, feel like those kind of shows, like the contest shows, are the way to get their music out there, or the way to become a music professional. I don't believe that necessarily in the same way, and I feel like you're kind of jaded on it too. But so what was that like? So you were in line, and then you go in, and was your audition televised? Yeah.
So basically, Roddy, you get signed. The first thing is there are some people that the TV channel just called, like, I want you in the program. So they just skip the lines.
So they pick.
Yeah, they start. I'm sorry to everyone in the TV channels and programs, but I don't give a fuck anymore because I'm done with that. So they actually pick up people. But there are people that make the line. Obviously, I was one of them. Big lines. And then before going to the televised thing, you actually get. There was 12 posts with 12 producers or people from the industry that were pre-picking people. before you actually went to the televised people. So it was like tense, and you like really like you just went inside a tent and sing to a person, and the person was like, I don't like you, and you're out. Or I like you, you go to the next tent. So basically that was the process. After the 12th tent, that was buddy like at 3 a.m. haven't ate anything, just had like whiskey on the banjo case. That's it. Yeah, man. Like,
you gotta have whiskey in the banjo
always,
case.
buddy. It's banjo whiskey,
100%.
100%. So you get to that place. When you pass this 12, they pass you a fucking contract at 3 a.m. and they say, oh yeah, you gotta sign it right now because in 2 minutes you're gonna have this special audition before, and then we will call you if we get you on the televised thing. So they give you a, I don't know, man, like 30-page contract. Off phones, there's no phones, there's no one, like
no lawyers,
like you cannot fucking even call anybody. Like, read it. Oh, you have any questions? Like, of course, I don't know anything about it, but the thing is, you're in this,
and it's like either you sign it or you're not going to be on the.
That's it. They basically tell you sign or you're out. So obviously, I signed. All of them signed, and this contract basically it has a lot of shit. Just it will tie you if you win, and make you do a lot of stuff if you win. So I actually signed that. And after that, I went home. They called me like a week after, like, hey, you got selected. And then I went to the televised thing. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's a setup, buddy, in that regards, because either ways they pick people.
Right.
They took me there. They did audition me, the jury's vote. And yeah, like the program started developing naturally. The thing is, I'm a real guy, man. Like I don't, we just met and we're just already speaking about the real shit. And the first thing I got in the first interview, I'm like, okay, Madero, how are you? I'm like, okay, yeah, my friend called me to bring him food and I helped him out and he's crying and he got out and they were like, you cannot say that. You gotta say this is your dream.
Right.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I thought that would be a good story, though. Like you accidentally got...
I know, like, it's the real shit. Yeah, but no, you gotta say it's your dream, and my mind was like, oh fuck this shit, and this is how we're gonna start.
Yeah.
But I actually in that one I said it like, okay, yeah, it's my dream.
Yeah.
And I went to the second interview, second day, and when they started trying to tell me what to tell, I told them, hey, if you're gonna tell me what to say, I'm fucking out of this shit. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't want to be here if this is not real. And they were like, okay. So with me, they couldn't tell me anymore. But the thing about is, I was the only guy in line with this beer, a banjo, and singing how I sing because I sing weird. I sing rock music in Colombia. No one listens to fucking rock music. Like it's a niche. Like it's really like we have metal, we have rock, but it's 92% vallenato, popular, reggaeton. Like that's the shit, That's what I'm in the States right now because you guys do listen to rock music,
I always thought that in Colombia and that rock was big, like especially metal. Like metal was a big.
It's a bigger metal scene, but yeah, man, it's shit. Like it's not like here or Canada or whatever. Like it's not.
But did you feel like the competition at least was an organic, like you're actually performing and competing against the other contestants in an actual like talent? All right, we're all playing against each other, or was it more the story? Because the way I feel about those shows is it is the story.
It's the fucking story, man.
Yeah, you're telling a story, whatever story.
You gotta be talented.
Better. Right.
You gotta be like, because they are actually like, if you fucked up, like you're out. Like you gotta sing well. It's one song, it's 1 minute, and a lot of people watching it. Like you gotta do it right. But what actually these programs are behind it's the fucking story. It's like where you come from, who you are. Yeah, man. Like they're more interested if I was okay with my wife, if my dog died, if like yeah, man. Like that's more than anything. That's their main focus because they're trying to make it's entertaining, buddy. Like I don't blame it. It's just their way of doing shit. But the thing, man, is like, for example, it was a hard story because I got in pandemic. Came in, so we were like recording through this. They got us all in a hotel, isolated, no phones, no anything from everyone. You know why? Because they actually tried to stress us stress your mind. Like they actually want you to be stressed, so you crack on
Right.
TV. Like that's fucked up. You know, they woke us up like at 5 a.m. to sing at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Like. And we went to sleep like at 11 p.m., 12 p.m. recording shit. Like it was really intense.
Yeah.
So everyone was like cracked, you know. So these guys were just like pushing us. They didn't let me look at my family or my dog or speak to them or whatever. So that's the fucked up part. Like, and it's just because they need emotions, like,
Yeah.
you know. So
that's the bread and butter, I think. Of
Yeah,
those,
man, that's-
those shows is the emotion and like all the stories that are going on in the back. It's almost like a soap opera.
it is.
More than
It's a
anything-
fucking live
anything
soap
else.
opera.
I mean, there's music in there, but
that's not
yeah.
the main focus. Like,
So what was it like then? So obviously you've got this feeling about it as you're going through, like, I want to be real and I want to do my thing.
Yeah.
And then you end up winning it. So what was that? So how did that end up, being the end result of it? I mean, what was that?
The thing, buddy, is while I was recording, pandemic hit it. They sent us home like 4 or 5 months. My life was in pause because I was really going forward on the program, and that actually changes your life. I am not gonna say it doesn't, because it does.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal. And
Are you, if I may ask, are you like sequestered from?
I don't know what
like,
sequester means.
So like, are you living there with all the other
yeah,
performers? You're not
in a hotel.
You're
yeah.
not home. So
you are
you're-
not home.
So you don't know what kind of fame you're getting until
You have no
leave
idea.
the show, right?
No idea. No idea.
Because
Like,
I'm assuming that people start to know who you are.
they don't let
You're-
you out, because they will know if they kick you out. People will know before they televise it, like you
like
were kicked
what's
out.
going on,
Yeah,
too.
so it's harsh. It's like you are sequestered. How do you
Yeah.
say it? That thing.
That's
Yeah, man. So in pandemic hit it, and yeah, I got a lot of anxiety, man. I in that moment I lost my job. I had this problems I told you with children music shit going so big. Like those problems came in that moment. Everything came in that moment. So I was fucking like shit. Like I was thinking, I'm in this hotel, but if I go out to the world, that is waiting for me. So I prefer rather in this moment be here than
Yeah.
outside. So I told myself, I'll just rather try to win this thing. Like because
Yeah.
I was not thinking of going like that at the beginning. And they loved it for some reason. That's what people love about me. Like I didn't give a fuck at the beginning. And then I was like, I'm going out. I'm going in. I'm not like a professional trained singer. I'm a professional trained producer. So all these people, buddy, they were like fucking vocal teachers. Like those guys were like, all the notes, a million. Like Sally, like she fucking sings
all the
whatever you
riffs.
want.
I'm the same way. I can't read music. I don't-
Yeah, you know, I in reading and stuff. I'm from college. Like I study music, but not my vocal. Like it's not my main
Yeah,
thing.
You're not a Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm not a Beyonce. That's and all of the older ones were Beyonces.
Yeah.
You know, so I just got to study. I worked my ass off, and it actually you can see it on the program. It starts getting better.
Yeah,
man. At the end, the thing is, people loved me because I'm real, and I noticed. Yeah, man, it's hard, but there was someone when I saw the program. I noticed like, who is this person that's speaking? Like the other people that were participating, like they were different on camera than they were in real life, and I was not. And if someone wants an advice, because then I ended up winning it, it's the first thing is, yeah, these programs will change your life if you win them or you get far away, because in Colombia, 12 million people connected to the live final, which is a lot of people. In Colombia, it's 40 million people, like you guys are 300 here. So in
that's a quarter
perspective,
of the
it's a quarter of the
population.
population of the whole country. But you don't need it necessarily, you know, like that's, but it's a big push, buddy. Like it is, because they made me famous in my country.
Can you do me a favor? Can you turn that mic off? I think that's causing that. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So they make me famous in my country, and that actually helped my whole career. But the big problem is when I win this thing, next day is like, okay, they call me from Sony Music, Warner Music, Universal Music, all the fucking musics you want, like all the
All the
plays.
musics.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna make you the biggest star in the world. You're gonna
Yeah.
give you everything here. We're gonna sign you with the channel. Don't worry about anything. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I was just coming out from this problem from children music, which were like legal inconsistency programs with people just saying that they recorded what I did, like this type of stuff. And I just became almost a lawyer in music from just fixing these problems before I got this call.
So the children's music stuff that was coming from because they knew that you were on the TV show?
No, it just happened because the song became so big body that people started inventing that they did my work.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and they wanted money.
More money.
Yeah, but
More problems.
Yeah, totally.
I found that too. As you gain success in anything, you tend to have people that start. There's like what would you call them?
Like fucking the things that grab like
Like barnacles on the bottom of a
ticks.
boat that's moving, right? You have a boat that's going, and you start to get these barnacles and things that
ticks.
grow on the boat.
It's like fucking ticks,
Yeah,
like sucking
leeches,
your leeches. Yeah, if they're fucking
You know?
leeches.
But that's a sign that you're doing something right, I found. So you can't hate it because you're like, okay, well that at least it's an indicator that I'm doing something right, or I'm at least succeeding at something, right?
Yeah.
So would you do it again?
Oh no, ever. Like I wouldn't go through that because it was actually mentally, it destroyed me mentally. Like it's just a hassle because of what they did. Like I spent 4 months in a hotel room. They put the food outside the door, opened the door like. Tick, 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 here's your food day. Like a fucking jail.
Yeah.
I was in jail for 4 months, and they were just like, work, come back, work, and it was just too much. Like I got sick, you know.
Well, I remember seeing an interview with Eminem. I think it was when he first kind of blew up with that first album, and he was being interviewed, and he's like, "What I didn't realize was the amount of work that it actually was." He was like, I thought, okay, you get your record deal, and then all of a sudden you've got a bunch of girls around you, and you've got a bunch of cars, and you go out and you drink Hennessy, and you drive your fancy cars, and you go out in your backyard and you shoot your gun around or whatever, and you have fun. And he's like, no, it was like, going to the studio at 6 a.m. in the morning, you record for 8 hours, then you go into your tour bus and you drive to a show in some city, then you play a show, then you go to some random studio to record the rest of the stuff, 6 a.m. the next morning, get on another bus. And he's like, it's a 7 day a week,
day job,
15 hours a day job where you're just going constantly all day long, every day. And that, I was like, that is what it takes to really make it especially as a performer. I think you can be a recording artist, or a producer, or you can do those other things, but to be a performer, to actually be an artist, I think takes that level of like
commitment and work,
and time.
The thing is, artists don't notice that they can do that by themselves, buddy. That's the problem. Like they think they need a record label to get them and tell them to do that, and fuck that. Like they make you do all these things, and they take 85% of your royalties. You know what I mean? So fuck that. That's what I learned from those 2 years working. Like I was just sitting and watching and learning how they spend these millions of pesos. That's like thousands of dollars on my project. Yeah. And I was saying, I don't think that will work, and it didn't work. And I think they're spending in this. And they ask him, okay. Now I know how it is. Now I'm gonna have my own label. Fuck this. And I have 100% of my work. Like it's just an artist, buddy. They have to realize to get the thing, you have to fucking work. Like work is like a fucking full day job, doing as you are doing it, Patrick, sitting here with all your equipment. Like fucking putting the work, and it will come back to you anytime. The thing is, you don't need a label to tell you that.
I think what happens, especially as young artists. Money, like upfront money to do certain things is hard to come by. And so a record company is basically a bank that says, okay, I'm going to give you all this money up front, but I want it back, and I want it with interest. So you're basically you're their employee.
Yeah.
So they're putting you to work to get back their money, to get interest on it, and they'll work you to death.
Yeah.
If they have to, they'll pump you like Michael Jackson. They'll pump you full of drugs just so you keep working, as hard as they can possibly work you until they get their money back and then some. And like you said, I think eventually a lot of these artists, like bigger artists, once they get to a point, they start their own labels and they start to think too, like, oh, I can treat artists better than these big labels can too,
The thing is, they're worse than a fucking bank. You know why, buddy? Because there's a big difference in asking for money and just having to pay it back, and asking for money and having to pay it back with your career. Because when you get in these record labels, and I'm telling this to all artists that are listening to this, like if you get offered the money, like all artists there, if you get into a record label, like, you're gonna have to give that back money. Give that money back. And if you don't give that money back, they will own your ass until you give it back. If you ask that same money from a fucking bank, they will try to take your thing. But sometimes banks are like, okay, you don't have money, like, just give me half of that shit, like that.
Right.
Yeah, it actually happens. Like, banks don't give a fuck because there are so millionaires. And they are not touching your fucking career. So why the fuck go to a bank that's gonna give you that money and ask you, like, own your ass? Just go to a fucking bank. If you are serious with your project, or ask your family, or ask your millionaire uncle, whatever. You just need money to invest. But the thing is, you need to know where to invest it, and that's where labels like mine come in. Like, it's like, I don't sign artists, buddy. I sign songs. I don't know if you.
Yeah, so let's get a little bit into the music business, because I feel like you understand it probably better than most of my guests that I've had. I usually have, artists that don't necessarily understand the business of music that much. They're making music. They want to kind of get picked up by a label, or they want to have a business person help them with their career. I feel like as I've gotten older, I think I'm 43 now, so I've been around a long time. Sorry, I had my hand. I'm Italian, half Italian. But I've learned the business of music a lot. Yeah. So like publishing is very confusing, and I think it's done that way on purpose to make it confusing and hard to get your money. Yeah. Royalties, the same thing. It's made purposefully difficult to collect royalties, so that record companies have kind of a monopoly on being able to get that money. Yeah. So, places like BMI and performance royalty organizations, ASCAP, et cetera, a lot of money sits in those organizations for a while, and the only people that end up collecting a lot of those royalties are record companies, because little independent people don't end up collecting their stuff.
They don't know.
Yeah, they don't even know that money is owed to them, right? And so now that you have your, your record company, I guess what would be the model or the business model that you've set up? Because you said you're signing songs.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Basically means that,
well, before you get into that, what's the name of your record company, and where can people kind of?
It's Madero Entertainment. That's my name, entertainment.com.
We'll post a link to.
Cool.
To it. But.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Like, basically, man, it's like I'm signing songs because if I'm going to sign an artist, maybe I will someday. As I am an artist, which is rare to find a label owner that's an artist, because they are all like lawyers or company people, business people, fucked up business people. I'm sorry to say it. Yeah, and man, it's like if I'm going to sign your life, first I'm going to ask one question, like, how much do you need monthly? 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand, 10 grand. Okay, 10 grand. Okay, so I'm gonna see how long I can sign you, because if I'm gonna sign all your life, I'm gonna give you that money at least. People, they don't fucking do that. They tell, I'm gonna pay you money, but you gotta give it back. That's the first thing. So I figured as a label owner, like, I cannot sign anyone because I cannot pay anyone's life. Because when I was signed, I didn't have money, man. Like, and I couldn't work. And I couldn't play if they didn't tell me to play, and they were not finding or stuff for me to play to win money. So it's like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Like, die? Yeah, they don't fix this thing. So I figured this thing, like, man, like, I'm gonna start signing songs, that means like I have as a label, complete ownership, and I own the song, I produce the song, make videos for the song, like work with the song, but the artist is free, man. Completely free to work with me again or not, because I'm working with people that become my friends. I'm working with people I think I can trust, and as of now it has worked. And I do know people, when people like see this effort, see this investment I'm making on them, they actually will get you back someday, man. You know, because it's real. It's not like, but before I even sign anything, I sit down with my artists and I tell them, okay, this is how fucking royalties work. Because they don't do that, because the main fucked up thing about business people in the industry is they don't say shit. They are gatekeepers, and they hide the info. I don't know why. They hid information from me, buddy. Like, they didn't explain how, oh, don't worry, we'll pick up everything for you. Oh, don't worry, no, yeah, someday we will pay you about it. Don't worry. But I'm like, how does this work? Don't worry. And music, the sad part is, I don't have anything against lawyers, but the lawyer world and the music world, they are like so different. But the sad thing is, music is a lawyer's business, because all music is registered on papers with contracts, and it's an intangible, it's art. So if you don't know the law, you cannot fucking do it in the industry, because you will get robbed, because you cannot even, like, okay, I'll give you masters, I'll give you publishing, like, they don't even understand it. So you know, I sit with my artists and this is how shits work. This is what I'm going to ask from you. Do you understand? And I actually, until they don't understand how it works, I don't sign shit, because I need them to understand what they're giving and how they are free with me. Yeah, man, I have worked beautiful, because now I worked with 12 artists last year. I recorded 50 songs, more or less. I'm releasing a song every week with different artists, and it's beautiful because, man, every week is like they're coming in. We're all collaborating. Like, hey, I'll make the lyric video. Don't worry. Like, and you know, it's amazing because it's all artists. It's like, it's me. They know I'm an artist, and I work for the artist. And in Colombia, man, I'm just fucking saying all the shitty things labels do, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm putting it on my Instagram. It's so basically.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I used to do once a month I would put on. I like doing things like this where I'm giving information kind of out for free, because I've learned stuff by experiencing kind of bad things sometimes, right? I've been through the ringer sometimes, and so I don't want, especially young artists, I feel like a connection to them. Like I love hearing new artists perform their art, and I feel like they get taken advantage of a lot. And I think information can protect people from very, very little information too. Can protect people from being, from those leeches that come at you, right? And one of the biggest things is like performance rights organizations, understanding how publishing works,
and masters work, like
how masters, how royalties work. They're complicated, but they're not that complicated if you do a little bit of like research on it. Yeah. But I used to do classes once a month, and I do it at like a studio, or I do it at a coffee shop or whatever, and I just do basic music business 101. And you'd see musicians' eyes like light up, like, oh, that's what that means. And then occasionally, like a couple of weeks after I'd have the class, someone would email me or message me like, hey, I just found like hundreds of dollars that were owed to me for song I didn't even know was out there, and it like helped them pay their rent, or like dude. And it's very satisfying to to have that be a part of it. So now that you're doing label stuff, I mean, do you feel like your own music has had to take a back seat a little bit, or do you feel?
I don't think, before I get to that answer, and also doing what you're doing, buddy, and what I'm doing, you're not only helping them on that thing, but you don't know if you're saving a life, man, because you have no idea how many artists get depressed, get really in a really dark place, and like live this world for not knowing these things we know, and I know it because people have written to me on my Instagram, like, man, thank you, because now I get it. So it's so important, buddy, what we're doing, like, when we gotta keep it up. And as your question, the whole other way, man, I think this has just pulled my music up, because now that I know the back business, now I know the contracts, now I know how this works. Now I know where I'm going, so it actually pushes me because I know like, oh, I need to do more songs. And I know what to do with the songs. The problem is sometimes artists like, oh, but why am here sitting and writing these songs if no one is gonna listen? And they don't know that they can actually write songs and sell them. If they go to I don't know, Durango composer, singer-songwriter place, or go to the conferences, like I now know the way. So that have gave me like life to keep on producing and composing. And this way of collaborating, like I'm just doing music. I started doing this, buddy, actually because I got divorced a year and a half, and I got so sad that I just needed to do music. Like I didn't give a fuck about life. It's like I'm famous, but I'm so sad. I need to fix this. I started doing music, and then after I did all these 50 songs, like what I do with these songs, I have all these friends around different, like Brazil, Colombia, the States. Like I need to be true to them. Like I need to know what I'm gonna do this because it's valuable music. So actually it just pushed me so much, buddy, because knowing will give you, it's like you're gonna make a car company. If you don't know how to fucking sell a car and papers, you are gonna be disappointed. Like how are you gonna sell cars? It's the same thing. Musicians need to know the business, at least how it works on royalty wise, and they will get inspired. Like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna be a singer-songwriter, or I'm gonna be a producer, or
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and it's sort of like if you don't have a target, if you don't know, if you don't know what, like where, you're kind of just like if you don't have a goal in mind, you're just shooting out stuff into the ether with no direction.
Yeah, and this gives you a direction,
right? And to know the business of it and how all that works. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit, more to the art of music making, right? So you say that you're more of a producer, right? So you enjoy kind of producing it, but we are the songwriter's couch, right?
Yeah.
So when you write a song, Madero, first of all, how did you get into music? Was your family musical, or was it?
My uncles in the 70s had like the first rock band in whole Colombia. It was Colores del Tiempo, like that means the colors of time. And they were fucking rockstars. Like they were in Colombia, like they went really good. And that's what I listened like to this rock bands, Led Zeppelin, because I grew with it. And yeah, man, I started studying piano at 6, then guitar at 12, drums at 15.
Did you say piano at 6?
Yeah, I'm a pianist. Like I'm more a pianist even. Like I've been playing all these instruments around, and then I studied in college music production, started singing, making my songs, songwriting, producing. Yeah, man, like I've been all my life in art and playing. That's the only thing I know how to do, you know. I suck at life. Like I really like cooking and shit. Like I fucking suck.
You can't cook, really?
Yeah, I can't cook, man. I fucking can't cook.
Come on, from Colombia, you can't cook.
I know, man. Yeah, man. All in my life in art. Yeah.
So when you approach songwriting, though, how do you approach your song? Because you're multi-instrument. So when you write, do you go to piano first? Do you do guitar?
How do I do
What's your...
Man, it's depending on how I wake up that day. Yeah, man. It's like that. Oh, today is a piano day.
Yeah.
Oh, today is a drum day. Oh, today is a bass. And what I actually do, but it's like I sit down and I'm like a riff maker. Like, oh, give me a riff.
Yeah.
There's a riff. And I'm a riff maker. And that's basically, I don't know why, but I love writing from that. And usually I start with the instrumentation part.
Yeah.
I even just go to my studio and actually record the whole track without vocals, without lyrics, because I love instrumentals. And then I just put vocals and lyrics on them. But sometimes I'm like, I really need to say this on a song. So that's the vocal day, the lyric day. And I just write, like I journal. Like I just like, I'm going to write my thoughts. And then I just like take thing and I look, I just start saying my idea and whatever.
Yeah.
Like
gibberish.
Gibbering in it. And it just becomes a song.
It's so funny. It's so funny how many... I watched, is it Paul McCartney, I think? It was Paul McCartney. the exact same thing. He's
Really,
like,
man?
I just do gibberish, but I do the same thing. Every songwriter basically does that.
Yeah.
They play some sort of music and then they just start talking gibberish over it. I've actually seen musicians do this live. Like they go and they play a song that's kind of new and they have like a bridge to it, but they haven't written lyrics to it, and then they'll do gibberish over it, live at the show, and they're like, this is just gibberish.
Fucking works.
That I'm doing. But it helps you like build melodies and stuff. It's kind of like you got to have the right feel to the melody before you can shove words in there.
Yeah. It's a feel.
But it's just
vibe.
interesting that everyone has that same, or at least most people have that same technique.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
man.
it's very
It works, man. Because
universal.
what I really believe, Pat, is I really trust that first feeling on music. Like I actually, all the songs I've produced, even that one Sally show, is one day, man. I can't take more.
Yeah,
And-
now that it's been announced too, because we weren't allowed to kind of talk about it at the time. She hadn't announced it yet.
Yeah.
But Sally Louise, who is now, she's been on twice now on the show, right?
Yes.
Right, that's been released. Yes, it's been the second one has been released already. Yeah, so she's under your label.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
she's working with me. She has 7 songs with me. And first song is coming on April 11. All the songs are announced on the webpage actually with exact dates. Like everything is prepared because I spent the whole year working on it, buddy. And yeah, man, and she's one of the artists. She's amazing with Jackson Cavalier, who's a local too. And I only work with emerging new artists.
Yeah.
That's the other thing in my label, buddy, because yeah, man, the big ones, great. I can work with them. I'm like, I have done stuff with the big ones. But the little ones are the ones that need the help, that need investment, and that need that someone that actually believes in them. And I have that thing. When I hear something, it's like, yeah, man, that person is. I know it. I just know it.
Yeah, and there's such a joy that comes from. I think I talked about this on the last episode. Like I go to open mics a lot, and I really enjoy watching. Like people's first time going to an open mic, like they've been practicing their song in their bedroom for months and months and months, and they get up there and they're all nervous and shaking, and it's not their best performance.
But it's exciting.
But it's like fun to see them finally get it out into the
hard.
into the world, and it's difficult, but it's so vulnerable and like beautiful. I don't know,
and you get surprises. Like this guy sometimes like. Wow.
Yeah.
It's exciting because you never know what you're going to find.
And then when you tell them, like, oh, I really like, and you're genuine about it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, you're giving them a bunch of bullshit. Like, if you really like what they did, you're like, that's fucking amazing what you just did. I mean, your performance, maybe you were a little nervous, but next time you'll be more comfortable up there and whatever. Just the joy on their face that someone was like, that's good. You know?
valuable, man. That's
right?
what it...
Or someone believes in them. Because I feel like the encouragement is sometimes hard to come by too.
Man,
someone believing in you.
The thing is, and I'm a little bit going to the industry. You know what they ask? The first thing: how many Instagram followers do you have? How many TikToks are there? How many Spotify followers and listeners you? If you don't have the fucking numbers, you're not getting anywhere with the big labels.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up because they are only already looking for the people that already made the work, and they're just fucking leeches too.
And then you don't need them.
You don't need them.
If you already
you
did
don't
that,
fucking need them.
You go to a bank, you get a loan, and then you put out your own,
yes,
record.
Yes,
that's the way it's done. But
is that clear? Is that clear?
Oh, there you
it
go.
is clear.
Madero's getting serious.
I'm serious,
on
man.
the podcast here. So you approach it typically from a musical standpoint. When you write, so I'll be honest. As I said before, me entiendo un poquito español.
Muy bien, man.
So the majority of your songs, I don't know what you're saying in them, but I've listened to them.
Oh, cool.
So do you have a general theme to what you write about? Is it relationship, like love songs? Is it more
I think
revolutionary? What is your...
I think most of them are about girls, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. It's girls and whiskey and having a good time. That's basically...
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's-
but you're feeling it? Cheers, man. Yeah, cheers for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it is. It's it's like sexy stuff, and just moments. Yeah, man. Like, you know, like there's some particular moments with girls like you're like, oh, that was amazing. I gotta write about this shit. You know, I gotta put it in paper. There's love songs too because I'm a guy that loves. Like love is amazing. You know, like this emotions and feelings. So, but it's connected to that too. So it's my main theme. I have some songs that speak a lot about being real and free in this world because. Yeah. Buddy, there's so much people they are not themselves. That's what I fight with, you know, like, and they get uncomfortable with me because I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm Jose. Yeah. You know, like, and they like, oh, I don't know how to act because this guy is being like so real, and I that's what I love, man. Like throwing out people like who are you? Who are you really? Who are you? But that's where it's the essence of people. So yeah, man.
I feel like that's the. I think a lot of artists and musicians are like that too. Like they're unapologetically. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say unapologetically. Some artists are apologetically themselves. Like they have to apologize for themselves. Yeah. I do that a lot. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm myself, but I can't be anyone other than myself. Yeah, so I don't want to say unapologetically, but they're. It's almost like you can't shove yourself into the box. There's no way. Have the choice.
You don't have a choice.
So where do you see now? Where do you see now the rest of your, or I guess the next couple of years of your career, you know, going? What do you see yourself doing with?
Well, man, I've been traveling over 2 years. Like that question on the truth from life, like I am not leaving. I'm living in different cities right now, like 2 months there, 1 month here. But I just applied for residency to the US because I love it. And here, like, girls do dance rock and roll, you know, because they dance rock and roll. Yeah. And in Colombia, they don't. They dance reggaeton. And here they
don't turn up your nose at reggaeton dancing now.
Yeah, I know. They it's a whole vibe and it's down there. Yeah, they got their thing, but I love rock and roll. And when I went to the bars here and stuff, it's like, oh, girls like still dig guitar solos and then rock and roll, you know, and it's my world. So I love my Colombia, like I love my country. I'm gonna still be mostly living there and here, but music-wise, like it makes more sense. But so I'm pushing that way. But right now, buddy, I'm planning France, England, China. I have a friend producer in China. You know who I met, buddy? I met Andrew Sheps. You know who Andrew Sheps is? Engineer?
Sounds very familiar.
It's a big beard. Okay, so he's Beyoncé, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Metallica mix engineer. That guy. It's like I met him in France for a seminar he did, like with 10 producers he chooses every year. Man, and I met these amazing producers from everywhere around the world. And next year, that's my goal. Like I'm traveling to all the cities I just want to make more music and support more emerging artists from different parts of the world. That's the thing. And teach them. And I want to say everything I know about it, because if I get killed by a fucking car tomorrow, what the fuck is the need? Like I'm not taking all this experience and things that have happened to me, and I want to save musicians from committing errors and save also their lives. And sometimes, and I know why I say this, because it's really deep, man. Like you know, like an artist feels when artist is so depressed because they don't know where to go. They don't have. Man, when I met Jackson here, buddy, he didn't have a passport. He hasn't gotten a fucking plane in his life. Yeah. And I told him, like, buddy, I don't know if you know the world's really big. He just traveled. He just got his passport, because I was like, get your fucking passport, Jackson. I have a full album. We have 10 songs. You already heard the first one and the second one.
Yeah, great video, great song.
Thank you, man.
Too. And, you know, I've been working, shout out to I know we're coming up on time. Sullivan Slents too, which is someone I'm working with, and shout out to Sully, and shout out to Jackson too. I reached out to him, and I'd like him to come on the podcast at some point too. Yeah. He hasn't gotten back yet, but that video is great. Like Thank you guys out in the forest and stuff, it's dope. And the I'm sure the rest of the album is going to be as equally cool. Raw and
we did it in 1 week
and cool. Oh, did you?
1 week.
But it's interesting too, because you. I feel like sometimes artists can feel very alone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, you're
hopeless.
Yeah, and you as an artist, as a musician, as someone that cares about people and other musicians and other people or whatever, sometimes you have this like this empathy, and you want to help other people.
Yeah.
And you can get jaded very easily. You can get very upset at the way the world is unkind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I am like that.
And you can feel like I'm the only one that seems to care about other people.
Yeah.
You know, and you can feel very alone as an artist. And I don't know Jackson very well. I get this feeling like sometimes he can get in that mindset of like feeling alone, and I feel like I do too.
We are all there. We have been all be there.
Every musician. The more I live, and the more artists I meet, the more I realize I'm not alone in that feeling where it's just you feel stuff so deeply, and you care about people so deeply, and that's the reason you do music, is because you want to share this like love of what life is and all it has to give. But it can. The day-to-day business of life, and especially the music business, can just beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, hard,
you know?
man. Yeah, hard.
And can make you not be the vulnerable, beautiful flower in the middle of a desert.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That you deserve to be and should be for the rest of the world.
Because you work truly. Buddy, Jackson, 30 monthly listeners when I met him. He's today, 2 songs released, 1,600. This guy, I'm a rock star. Like, you know, he's so happy, man. He's another person. He traveled to Florida for the first time. He went to New Orleans because I was like, Jackson, fucking go out of Rochester, man. Go out. And he came back. He came back and he said, like, you know, buddy, I was in Nashville. I was in New Orleans. And it's amazing. Like, these people heard me play and sing because he can do the one-man band shit. And he was like, I can't believe these people were appreciating this way. And I told him, buddy, you know, like, Rochester is beautiful, but it's 200,000 people, so you got to expand a little bit and bring stuff back. But the States is so big. Yeah. There's so many people, and they don't know, man. It's crazy, but they haven't been in a plane. So now, when you get to know him, ask him about it, and you'll see how he. And for me, buddy, like him calling, like, buddy, I have 1,700, like I'm 1,700 listeners. Like, that feeling, it's beautiful. Yeah, so gratifying. You know, satisfying, man. It's beautiful, helping. I love it. Well,
we're coming up on time here.
Okay,
but I want to hear you play something, and I'm sure everyone out there wants to hear you play something. Allie's patiently waiting over there.
Okay.
She's doing jazz hands over there. But before we do that, let's cut to this camera here. So, again, I'm going to put a graphic down this time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm promising it this time. I'm promising. I'm going to break this promise too. No, I won't break. I'm going to try and do the graphic for the next one. But please like and subscribe. Thank you to all our wonderful guests. Thank you to everyone that watches and listens. We really appreciate it. If you feel like becoming a patron, as little as $1 a month can help us keep this going. And it really helps us bring on better guests. It helps us bring better merch. It helps us increase the production value. We're actually looking to bring it onto an actual television station here in Rochester and an actual broadcast radio station, and so that's probably coming soon. So thank you to everyone that has been watching and supporting us so far, and big things are coming. We've got some big news on the Patrick Jaouen band front coming soon as well, that we'll be announcing in the near future. And please go out and check out Madero's music and his record company. If you're a songwriter or a musician, I guess reach out to him.
Yeah, I'm in Instagram. Just text me.
Send him some stuff. Yeah. We'll post some links. And what is this song you're going to play for us here about? Or are you going to just...
this song is called Quémame la boca. It means burn my mouth, and it's about a sexy girl I had. Yeah.
Ready? All right, so we'll get back to the camera here in a second.
Let me know when it's ready.
Go for it.
Estás muy loca, ven y quémame la boca. Ya no escucho lo que dices y me pierdo en tus matices. Y estás muy loca, ven y quémame la boca. Ya no escucho lo que dices y me pierdo en tus matices. Estás muy loca, nena, quítate la ropa. Siempre mira fijamente. Quiero todo lo que sientes. Quiero todo lo que sientes. Y quiero todo lo que sientes. Y quiero todo lo que sientes. Quiero todo lo que sientes. Y estás muy loca, ven y quémame la boca. Ya no escucho lo que dices y me pierdo en tus matices.
Madero, oh my. I'm getting a little hot under the collar myself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beard. Or
Maybe
it's
the beard.
Madero, hey, thanks for coming all the way from Colombia, fighting the shark to get here. I really appreciate it. I hope it wasn't the, what's that shark with the laser on his head? You know what I'm talking about? Laser shark. Yeah, I hope it wasn't that one. No, oh, that was just an Austin Powers movie. Yeah, yeah, it was fake. That was fake. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll come on again.
Yeah, let me know
when you have something to release, and I hope we have some projects here. We'll talk after the fact when the cameras aren't on about some other things, but hopefully we can work on some projects together that will cause some noise. So,
yeah, man.
What a fabulous guest. Leave some comments for him. Please follow Madero's music. What was the chorus line in there in English for those who don't speak Spanish?
Yes, that you're very crazy. You come and burn my mouth, and I don't even listen what you're saying, and I lose myself in your colors. Yeah. Right, that's what it says.
Yeah. I've dated Spanish women. I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean, man. Yeah, man. And I'm releasing music every week, so you guys welcome to my Instagram. I'm posting shit there.
Let's do a little shameless plug here. Where can they find your stuff? Again, I'll put the links there, but let's say it out loud here for anyone that's listening on the podcast audio.
You can find me best in Instagram. It's Madeiro, Madeiro, and just text me. If you're an artist, you guys are starting out, if you need an advice, I just give fucking free advice. I just love it. So you ask, and I'll help any way I can. And if you have music, you send it to me, because you don't know, maybe I'll start working with you. That's it.
Yeah, the fucks are free.
It's totally free.
The contract's not. Ali, thank you for helping out. I always appreciate it.
Thank you, Ali.
Yeah, thank you, Ali. Madero, again, thank you for being on the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you on the next fucking episode.